Good evening all of you. This is C.A.R.E. Current Affairs Reverse Engineering, your Bhavani sir. We have launched UPSCale Meditational Mentorship. It contains 10,000 MCQs, 1000 mains questions and answers, and UPSC Confidence Covenant is one such module out of it, which is giving you confidence to clear this preliminary examination. If you can't clear it, definitely your money will be returned, because we have such an immense confidence about your rank. We would like to do a lot of work and research about this UPSC program. And one more thing, it covers 10,000, 1000, that is related to prelims and mains perspective, right, respectively. So, these 10,000 MCQs will also cover 40 years of UPSC PYQs of all the subjects micro level segregation, okay, and 5 days of this program is already uploaded in our YouTube channel. Please go through it once. And one more thing I would like to request is, only thing you have to show your immense commitment and dedication and passion and consistency from your side, and 10 times more we can show from our side as well to clear your examination. So, we are going to give you a standardized, highly researched, high impact content for you, and it will smoothen your process of preparation. Only thing, you should be an average student who maintains consistency. That is the only thing. Give me the consistency, get the rank, that is it. And coming to our article, C.A.R.E. initiative, right. Here the first article is talking about scientists detect this oxygen in noxious atmosphere of the Venus. Here Venus getting very less attention compared to other planets which were explored several times by various programs conducted by NASA, ESA, JAXA, Russia and India. Okay. So, Venus has lot of potentiality to be a question in the coming future UPSC examination, because recently scientists have found that oxygen which is in atomic state found in this Venus, that is the new invention, newly found by the scientists. Next, coming to the static component, till now that we have known about the Venus is, it is very nearer to the sun, and it is being intensely heated, and that heat may create this hotter object as one of the most hotter object among all the planets around this solar system. So, it is the hottest planet in our solar system, and second thing is, it is having longer days than a year, and it is considered to be having the same size and structure of the Earth. However, this Venus having a thick atmosphere that traps the heat in a runaway greenhouse effect, making it the hottest planet. That is also one second reason. And the compared to Mercury, it has larger size equivalent to the size of the Earth, and it receives intense heat. However, its atmosphere is much thick and it traps the runaway greenhouse gas effect, and also it will be having this hottest planet in the solar system feature, right. And second thing is, Venus spins backward and has a day, Venus spins backward compared to other planets. Here it has different spin system. Here it has a longer days than its year and lacks any semblance of seasons. This is the second statement. Therefore, the second statement is also correct here. The third statement is incorrect one, because the recent findings regarding this Venus is, scientists have found atomic oxygen, not molecular one. Here scientists have detected atomic oxygen in the atmosphere of Venus and Earth's neighboring planet. This is not molecular oxygen. And coming to this one, star-filled Euclid images spur mission to probe dark universe. What is this dark universe? It contains dark matter, dark energy, and what is this Euclid? That is also important. Let us understand in the form of MCQ without wasting time. Here the dark energy accelerates the expansion of the universe. Here dark matter or dark energy, which consists of around 90% plus among all the celestial substances, okay, which is not visible to human beings, which is not found by scientists till now. Such a matter of celestial in nature is called as dark matter. Okay. So, that dark universe is more than that of the universe that is found by scientists till now. Less than 5% is found by the scientists till now, and need to be found around 95%. Next, this dark energy accelerates and expands the universe, and this expansion of the universe is found. That expansion, the limitations and demarcations is not found by scientists till now. And dark matter governs the growth of these cosmic structures. Yes. And Euclid telescope was recently launched by NASA to explore the evolution of the dark universe. This is not launched by NASA. The third statement is incorrect. This Euclid, and coming to this PYQ, The second statement is incorrect and first to second are correct. Coming to the explanation of this Euclid, which is launched by other combination of countries, that will be explained just a minute after this explanation of this PYQ. Here the PYQ is talking about James Webb Space Telescope given in the UPSC Central Defence Service exam, right, Combined Defence Service 22. So, it is largest observatory ever launched into space. It has been developed by NASA in partnership with European Space Agency and Canadian Space Agency. This is true statement and both the statements are correct. So, likewise you need to understand various new inventions and findings and the apparatus that was used by scientists to explore the space. This is very important. And coming to this first and second statement, both dark energy are accelerating the universe and expansion of the universe is important, and dark matter governing this growth structure of this cosmic component. One more thing, this Euclid is a fully European mission, it is not related to NASA and built, operated by European Space Agency and were contribution from NASA. So, there may be a little bit contribution from NASA with respect to research and development, any operational support, operators and operational. But Euclid consortium is consisting of 2000 scientists and 300 institutions in 13 European countries, the US, Canada and Japan, and provided the scientific instruments and scientific data analysis. As I have said, there may be a contribution from other entities, but it is mostly done by the European mission and operated by USA, but consisting of 300 institutes and 2000 scientists from several countries. Next, Niti Aayog organized workshop on Green Development Pact for Sustainable Future. Green Development Pact for Sustainable Future. What is this Green Development Pact? This pact is emerged out of this G20 meet. So, it will be discussed later. Before that, we will see the PYQ associated with it. Here, which of the following statements about this Paris Agreement and climate change is not correct? Here, the Paris Agreement, which held in 2015 under this Conference of Party of this United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, right, to reduce the climate impact on third world countries and developing countries, and having some kind of obligation and responsibility among these developed countries to contribute something for these developing countries. So, this is related to climate change, Paris climate, later not correct, it is asking about not correct. Here, intended national determined contributions pledges during 2015 climate change conference has been withdrawn in the Paris Agreement. No, actually not withdrawn, it was actually came into force, it had come into force in this Paris Agreement only. Green, that intended national determined contribution, that voluntarily each state has to announce its contribution to reduce this climate change impact, and means changing global warming, increased global warming has to be trapped and reduced up to 1.5 degrees Celsius increase. So, that was the intended nationally determined contribution from each of these countries. Next, coming to this Green Development Pact is a framework of various nations for nations to achieve energy, climate, environment, disaster resilience, and one more thing, this is outlining New Delhi Leaders Declaration. This is outlined in the New Delhi Declaration, New Delhi Leaders Declaration, NDLD, New Delhi Leaders Declaration. This is outlined in this G20 summit in 2023. It is focusing on one theme, the G20 theme is focusing on one earth, one family, one future, right. And coming to this statement, Central Consumer Protection Authority imposes penalty of 5 lakh on a study group institute for advertising misleading claims. Let us see what is this Central Consumer Protection Authority. It is a regulatory authority set up under Competition Act 2002. This is wrong, this is incorrect statement. It was formed in 2019. Next, it can investigate consumer rights violation or unfair trade practices based on complaints, sumoto or directives from the central government. That is true statement. And it has authority to mandate the recall of unsafe products or services, order refunds for their sales. Yes, it has the authority to mandate recall of unsafe products or services and order refund for the damage caused to the user, so consumer. So, the third statement is also correct. As per this newly amended 2019 Act, the first statement was formed. Okay, the first statement means this Consumer Protection Authority, the entity was formed under this newly amended 2019 one. Next, coming to this PYQ part, it refers to consumers' rights, privileges under this provision of law in India. Which of the statements are correct? Here, the first and third statement is correct. Here, consumers are empowered to take samples for food testing, and also in case of death of the consumer, legal hire can file a complaint in the consumer forum on on the behalf of demised person. So, next coming to those are PYQs only just for the purpose of reference, but I would like to show you what is the interesting area of UPSC here. Bureau of Indian Standards, it is very interesting area of UPSC, and various electrical appliances and their caution, the precautions that you need to follow, the instructions that are given there. And when a small pictographic representation and KitKat is also very important. Even that pictographic representation may contain the heritage site of India. So, that is also important. You need to be thorough with various general understanding, even quick response code and basic norms and conditions drafted and they are put forth in any bank. Those are also important, means KYC norms which are given in the hoardings of various banks. You have to read them also, because the question may be asked from those KYC norms as well. So, you please remember these things. So, statement 1 is incorrect. Central Consumer Protection Authority is a regulatory authority set up under the section 10 clause 1 of the Consumer Protection Act 2019. In this, commission can investigate consumer rights violations or unfair trade practices based on complaints, or it can sumoto can direct them to follow certain norms and conditions, and at the same time they may cancel or recall and mobilize resources to refund them from the sellers to the consumers if any damage occurs to them. Any unfair practice happen and unfair regulations, unfair trade practices, monopolistic trade practices, something happen, then it will be there. Next, CJ Chandrachud stresses right to legal aid, launches legal awareness program and upgraded NALSA helpline. You need to understand who will get legal aid. This 2023 previous year question, this year's PYQ has asked about this question. We have displayed you who will be eligible to get that free legal aid. Free legal aid is a fundamental right in India. You may be mistaken that it may not be fundamental right. It is mentioned in the Directive Principles of State Policy under Article 39 something else, right? But it is a fundamental right under Article 14 and 22, it seems, right? So, you please go through that statement as well. We would like to display. And first statement is correct absolutely. And second statement, free legal services under Legal Services Authorities Act include payment of court fee, process fee and all other charges payable incurred in connection with any legal proceedings. That is also true. The second statement is true. Even process fee, court fee, all other charges payable also true. And free legal services under Legal Services Authorities Act can be availed by all women, children, scheduled caste, scheduled tribes and industrial workmen, disabled people, but not all old age people. Okay. There is an income threshold put by each of the respective states, and also the Supreme Court or state something other courts may determine that whether this person gets legal aid on free of cost or not. Okay. So, let us see the PYQ here in 2020 also, persons with an annual income of less than something will get free legal aid. This is the question here. So, coming to this one, statement 3 incorrect one, because the old age people, all old age people may not get it, because if their income threshold meets the prescribed threshold by the state government. Here the persons in custody are persons in annual income who doesn't exceed 1 lakh rupee. In the Supreme Court Legal Services Committee, the limit is 5 lakh rupees. Okay? As per the Supreme Court Legal Committee, Services Committee, it is 5 lakh rupee. In the respective state governments, in the Delhi government suppose has put some amount it seems 60,000 it seems, I do not know what is the amount. Sometimes states may also prescribe, that is the clause given there. So, here victims of trafficking in human being and beggars are also getting this free legal aid. So, Article 39A of this constitution provides free legal aid, which is part of this Directive Principles of State Policy. However, Article 14 and 22 clause 1, just now I have said you that constitution make it obligatory for the state to ensure equality before law and also a legal system which promotes justice on the basis of equal opportunity to all. Next, Bihar Assembly unanimously passes the amendment bill related to increasing the quota of reservation. Okay, but reservation system has limitations and threshold. The limitation and demarcation and threshold were given by this famous judgment under this Indira Sahani versus Union of India. It has mentioned various things. One is related to ceiling of reservation up to 50%, and next it has also dealt with creamy layer with respect to the other backward classes, creamy layer. Okay. This was a previous year question asked by UPSC, that is why we have displayed you. Only thing that is important, other things not relevant for UPSC because it is quite controversial. So, controversial political debates are not relevant to UPSC at all. Only thing that we need to derive with respect to UPSC from the related article is previous year questions, which whether relevant to it or not. Next, CBI is not a limb of center. Union government is telling to the Supreme Court, center claims Central Bureau of Investigation is its own boss and Union government has no control over CBI, who whatever may be the probe in the registration, investigation and prosecution of the case. Here the PYQ associated with it is Directorate of Enforcement. They are talking about various organizations associated with prevention of corruption, right? Which of the following statements is not correct? This is they have not only asked about CBI, CVC and other non-statutory or regulatory bodies, they have also asked about Directorate of Enforcement things, right? Therefore, it is important to note various statutory bodies, constitutional bodies, regulatory bodies and non-constitutional and non-statutory bodies may also be taken up, right, for by UPSC. Therefore, you have to remember these things. Consider the following statement with regard to CBI. Here CBI can take over investigation of a criminal case registered by state police if CBI can take up any criminal case if it is registered by state police only, but the CBI is permitted by Supreme Court or High Court ordering CBI to take up such investigation. If there is no permission given by the court, no CBI can come and interfere into the cases registered by the police of the respective states. Next, first statement is absolutely correct. Next, second statement, the superintendence of CBI related investigations offences coming under this Prevention of Corruption Act 1988 lies with the Ministry of Personal Pension Grievances of the Government of India. It is wrong statement because the superintendence of CBI related to investigations of corruption under this Prevention of Corruption Act is dealt by the CBI, that means that lies in the CVC, Central Vigilance Commission and some part, but non-corruption related cases may also be lied within this Ministry of Personal Pension and Grievances of the Government of India. Therefore, you have to segregate the cases of CBI into corruption and other cases. The corruption cases may lie within the hands of the CVC, which is having the superintendence of CBI related to these corruption cases. The CVC will have such a power with respect to CBI apart from the power associated with Ministry of Personal, that is Department of Ministry of Personal Pension and Grievances. Next, CBI can sumoto can take up this investigation of notified offices only in the union territory, but not the states. State permission is must. If state does not allow CBI to take up any case, therefore, CBI cannot take any case on sumoto basis except union territories because it is union governed region. Therefore, in Delhi CBI can take up that case sumoto. Here Supreme Court and High Courts, however, can order CBI to investigate a crime anywhere in the country without the consent of the state concerned. The Supreme Court and High Courts, however, can order CBI to investigate a crime anywhere in the country without the consent of the state consent. Yes, if state is not permitting CBI to investigate any crime, but Supreme Court is going against the orders of the state issued, therefore, the CBI can go and investigate. That is the order, that is the enforcement, right. So, these are the cases and okay fine, and statement 1 correct and statement 2 incorrect and statement 3, 4 are correct, only 3 statements are correct given there. And Spanish socialist and Catalan gents reach deal for government support amnesty. What does it mean? We do not need to understand entirely about the Spanish thing and the dispute happening there. Here the Catalonia region which wanted a separate state from this Spanish, right. This statehood means separatism where it has been taken place across various parts of the world and conflict zones may be asked by UPSC. Catalonia is related to Spanish one, a separatist movement, and Xinjiang, it is East Turkestan independence movement or Uyghur Muslim movement, it is termed to be Uyghur Muslim movement, which is located in China, not Mongolia, and Ogaden, it is Somali region of Egypt which had a separatist movement there which is going on there. So, it is not Somalia, it is Somali region of Egypt. So, all three are incorrectly paired. Therefore, none of the above is correct. Here UPSC in its previous year questions has asked about Anatolia, Amara and Cabo, something else, Catalonia. Catalonia was also asked by UPSC. So, here Catalan independent movement is going in Spanish, and East Turkestan independence movement, Uyghur Muslim movement going in China, and next Ogaden National Liberation Front is separatist movement, Ogaden National Liberation Front separatist movement in Somali region of Egypt. And next this one, this article is about considering the impact of diabetes on your liver. This, let us see diabetes having two types, first type 1 and type 2. Type 2 is autoimmune condition, wrong, and type 1 is primarily caused by insulin resistance, it is given wrong. And next, both types of diabetes are chronic diseases affecting your body and regulates blood sugar and glucose, that is fine. Next, the person with diabetes insipidus feels thirsty, and a person with diabetes insipidus suffers from excess secretion of vasopressin. So, these are little technical and core science related questions, but inspired by various articles given in the newspapers and PIBC. Okay. So, this is also important UPSC PQ things. Here coming to the first statement, incorrect one, because the difference trusted here the type 1 and type 2 difference you need to learn. The type 1 is believed to be caused by autoimmune disease, autoimmune reaction, and developing early in life, early age it will develop, but over a period of time, if your lifestyle is not acclimatized with the changing food habits, and if you are very idle and not following any basic exercises and being very inactive and idle and carrying excess weight, and you will become more weight, okay, this will cause type 2 kind of diabetes. This is lifestyle related diabetes. Okay. So, type 1 type 2 was given ulta there in the first statement, therefore, the first statement was incorrect. Consensus must be sought on key WTO issues to make its Abu Dhabi conclave count. What is this Abu Dhabi conclave count? Abu Dhabi, a conclave happened under this World Trade Organization, which is happening, and there are many mechanisms under this World Trade Organization, TRIPS, TIMS, and something agreement on agriculture and special safeguard mechanism. So, there are many terms you need to learn within the WTO area. So, here the special safeguard mechanism is a special safeguard provided to developing countries to reduce import surge to protect the inhabitant farmers, the indigenous farmers who are under pressure due to the inflationary conditions or some other conditions. Therefore, if they are facing any problem with respect to import surge from developed countries, these developing countries can take certain measures to ban the imports or reduce the imports and increase the tariffs on the imports from those developed countries. So, to save their own farmers, farming community, this is a special safeguard provided to the developing countries, a special safeguard mechanism. So, a mechanism that restricts the entry of agricultural goods into developed countries. No, not right. A clause instead a protective measure allowing developing countries to increase tariffs, that is true, on agriculture imports that harm their domestic farmers. The first statement is correct here, A option by A itself is correct one, right. You no need to go to other statements. Here the civil service exam 2016 question is about WTO agreements, trade facilitation agreement. As I have said that many agreements happen under WTO, you have to learn about these things. Okay. Trade facilitation agreement, when it came into force and what was its features. This is a safeguard mechanism to raise the tariffs on agriculture imports that may harm domestic farmers. Okay. So, this is what the current affairs reverse engineering. I think I have gone little faster, it seems. You can reduce its speed if you want to listen to it little slower. If but my speed is okay for you, you can comfortably listen to it within 25 minutes. You can cover entire Hindu and PIB related articles, 10 MCQs that we have given, and you can practice immediately while I am discussing here, and at the same time you can also practice 10 more PYQs. So, 20 MCQs with related 10 articles is very easy for you to compare and contrast anything related to UPSC, develop interlinking capacity and align your mind on the changing pattern and dynamics of this UPSC examination under this C.A.R.E current affairs reverse engineering module, which is part of this upscale program. This upscale program contains 10 MCQs from C.A.R.E, 10 MCQs from CSAT, 30 MCQs from the static part given on the day wise module. Okay. All the best for your UPSC 2024 examination. I may come once or twice in a week. Remaining times my team will be taking care of this C.A.R.E initiative, and I will be teaching you this upscale meditational mentorship program daily MCQs part. Okay. All the very best and thank you.